All right, and we are back. This is NHL 20 Franchise Mode Calgary Flames. This is episode 5. Yes, welcome back to our franchise mode here at the Calgary Flames. You can see we are in the month of March here as we are just about to end the regular season and start our elusive run back to the Stanley Cup playoffs and contend for a Stanley Cup. So yes, welcome to episode 5. We are underway here in franchise mode. Episode 4 was a very important episode for our team because we went out at the trade deadline and acquired a very big piece, if you will, from the Montreal Canadiens. The Calgary Flames went and got forward Max Domi from the Montreal Canadiens. It costed us a bit of a price. We had to pay, obviously, a first-round pick in this year's 2020 draft, a third-round pick in next year's 2021 draft, as well as prospect goaltender Tyler Parsons, who we were looking to move anyway with that logjam in our goalie system, and center prospect Adam Rzucka, who we were also okay with moving because we are pretty deep down the middle. I'll show you that here in a second when it comes to our prospects. But there's a look at Max Domi. Comes in at the trade deadline. We then simmed up the next 4 games, the remaining 4 games, I should say, in the month of February. And that is a look at Max Domi's stats through 4 games with us. He puts up 2 points, -1, but sets up Tkachuk for 2 goals there through 4 games. Not a bad start for Max Domi in a very small sample size, but you can see here with the Montreal Canadiens what he did through 64 games with them. Hit the 50-point plateau through 64 games with them so far this season. 12 goals, but the big thing, 39 assists. Domi is a playmaker. Is listed, as a playmaker, listed as a first-line forward as well. Top 6 potential, still growing at the age of 25. That will probably cap off in the next few years, but he's already at 86. But I look there at Domi's stats. You can see very elite playmaker there with a 90 puck control, 89 passing, 90 Deacon as well. He's got a bit of a shot there in the right category there, and as well as he's physical. That's what we like to see as well. He also can play well defensively. You can see 88 defensive awareness. We got him on the PK as well, so this is huge for us. And there's a look at his contract. However, we did realize in the next episode, even though that he only has 1 year left on his contract, the Montreal Canadiens did go ahead earlier this season in this game and extend Max Domi to a 2-year extension, and he's making about 8 point something. I forget what it was here. We'll take a look at it, but he is making a little bit more than we would probably want to pay him, but again, if he continues to grow, already at an 86, he could be a pretty big player for us. So 8.3 is what Domi is making for the next 2 years after this year. 8.3. Not too bad, especially if the cap does go up again. I talked about in the last episode. I don't know how much the cap is going to go up in terms of realistically how much it will go up in the NHL, but hopefully it does in the next couple of years. And we got Domi locked up there for 2 more years. So that was the biggest thing about getting Domi, is we paid a first, a third, 2 really good prospects. We wanted to make sure that we did indeed get some term back for Max Domi. It turns out the Montreal Canadiens were the ones that did that for us. We wanted to kind of sign him to our own contract, but you know what? We'll take what we got. So the bottom line is Domi's got 2 more years left after this year still with the Calgary Flames. I just want to show you a quick look here. I know we did in the last episode here, but again, we traded away one of our top center prospects in Adam Rzucka, but really happy with what we have down here in the middle in the American League. Dylan Dubé at 75 overall, listed as a top 6 forward potential. Glenn Goddard at 68, top 9 forward potential. Matthew Phillips, top 6 forward potential, and even Linus Lindstrom, bottom 6 forward potential. So all these guys could, one day be in the NHL. Highly unlikely that all of them make it there, but they really could be. So that's why we had the option of trading away Adam Rzucka. In terms of our only other move we made after the trade deadline that we did was a few days ago was claim Oscar Fantenberg from the Vancouver Canucks, the former Flame. Of course, he played last season with us, coming over at the trade deadline last season for the Calgary Flames. He played for us in our remainder of the season from that point on, and then in the playoffs, and then unfortunately decided to sign with the Vancouver Canucks this past offseason, but we have just claimed him back. The Canucks putting him on waivers. We claim him for our American League down here. He comes on that top pairing with Oliver Shillington, helping us a little bit with our depth down there. I did turn off the auto rotation now for goalies now that we did trade away Tyler Parsons. Like I said, here is Artem Zagadulin. Really want to get this guy growing now. We moved on from John Gillies. We moved on from Tyler Parsons. We now have our one and only goaltender that we're trying to develop in the American League. We don't have to worry about sharing the net down there. 28 games there, you can see. We do obviously want to play him a lot more. He was splitting the season with Tyler Parsons, so that's why he's only played 28 games so far this season. He only has a .500 record at 13-13-1, but a .917 save percentage there. He will get some time to continue to grow down there in the American League. Potential is a medium starter, like we said in episode 1, so we really want to grow Zagadulin. Just a quick, I just wanted to show you a quick look there. That's where the Stockton Heat stand. I want to get going here because I do want to start simming games now. Obviously, we're going to finish the rest of the regular season in this episode, but just a quick look there at our situation. Again, Max Domi coming in. I think I showed this in the last episode, so I'm not going to go through it. But he is on our second line there with Tkachuk and Backlund. Really bolsters that second line. We didn't have an elite winger on that second line to play with Tkachuk and on that right side, I should say, on the second line to play with Tkachuk and Backlund. That brought Frolik down. Now again, Domi is listed as a centerman, and he actually does shoot left, so it would make more sense if he either played center or left wing. Obviously, Tkachuk's on the left side there, and Johnny Gaudreau, he's not going to be in front of these two guys, as well as we obviously don't want to put him on the third line, because he is listed as a first-line player, but a top-6 player for sure on our team. So we're either going to play him on the right side where he is now, or if our second line is struggling, or our offense is struggling in general, like I said in the last episode, we can put him at center into his natural position there with Tkachuk. That's probably the long-term plan anyway, going into next season, and maybe bumping Backlund down to the third line, so we're super deep down the middle, which could be huge. Maybe we move on from Jankowski or Ryan next year, but that's for next year. For now, we'll keep him on this on the right side there. He's also on the power play, the PK, a lot of situations there. So let's get simming going here. Like I said, I want to get through obviously the rest of the regular season, which isn't too much here. I'll just show you quickly on our calendar that we do not have too many games left. This is it. This is what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games, it looks like, just roughly remaining there. So we'll get through these games here. You can see the month of March, and then we only get 2 games into April, Vegas and Edmonton. I guess I should really quickly look at the standings just before we start this episode. So that's where we stand, 86 points, through 67 games. We were fighting most of the season with the Edmonton Oilers. There was a good portion of the season where the Oilers were actually ahead of us for the 1-2 spot in the Pacific Division. We did pull a little bit away from them in the last couple episodes. We sit 4 points ahead of them now through the same amount of games played, which is huge because they always had a game in hand on us. You can see they are also tied with the Anaheim Ducks, so I guess the Ducks are just as big of a threat right now as the Oilers. 82 points through 67 games. The Golden Knights, 1 more game played at 75 points, so they're way back from us there. We're good 11 points clear of them, and then the Coyotes there, who hold the second wildcard spot. Just a quick look there at the Central. Not as strong, obviously. Winnipeg, the only team in the 80s there. A very weak division. Boston still sits first overall in the NHL, 94 points. The Panthers, 87, so they are 1 ahead of us. So we do move down to third. We were second in the NHL. We're now third in the NHL, tied with the Ottawa Senators, who are also at 86. So the Atlantic, extremely strong. And then the Metropolitan, a little bit weaker as well, kind of like the Central. So just a look there at the standings, but mostly where we stand in our Pacific Division and our chase for first place, looking for our second division title, obviously in consecutive years. The Flames winning the Pacific last year, and we're obviously looking to repeat as Pacific Division champions and Western Conference regular season champions, and obviously we would like to just make it back to the playoffs and go for a long run. So first period here against the Columbus Blue Jackets. We are in Calgary for a game here against CBJ, and you can see they're off to a really good start. 3-0 here. Riddick is in net. Again, auto rotation is off, so we don't have to worry about the computer putting Talbot Riddick in. We'll make sure to get Talbot some games, as Riddick's already played, I think Riddick's played close to 60 games already. If not, he's already hit 60 games, so we'll make sure to try and spell him off there. Again, keeping it realistic with Cam Talbot. Dubinsky, Atkinson, Dubois. We get 2 more in the second period. Johnny Gaudreau scoring twice to make this close to. Can we at least tie it up in the third? No, we can't. We do get 1 more goal from Michael Backlund, but they get 2 more. Not a good night for our defense, and probably for David Riddick in this one, as we do allow 5. So that's not good. Johnny Gaudreau, 2-goal night performance. Sean Monahan picking up 2 assists as well. But the biggest thing here is that obviously, we allow 5 goals. Mark Giordano, TJ Brody, they struggle a little bit, -3. Top line also struggling a little bit there in the minus categories. And we look at David Riddick's stats. He does go, it looks like they take him out 6 minutes into the hockey game. So that's not good. Cam Talbot actually plays the majority of this game. So this was actually Talbot's game. He does go 9-1-3. I'm guessing they took out Riddick because he let in 2 goals on 5 shots. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the in-game polls by the computer. I really wish they wouldn't do that in this game because, 2 goals on 5 shots may look bad at the start, but I probably wouldn't be pulling our top goaltender just because he let 2 goals in. Who knows? That 5 shots could have came within the first minute, but still, I wouldn't be pulling Riddick that early in. I want to make sure he gets these games. So they obviously put Talbot in for the rest of the game. So we'll leave Riddick in because obviously he did not play that last game. He only played, 5 minutes there against Columbus. We'll try and get back into the win column with him in the lineup here against the Coyotes. So a divisional game here. Let's see if we can get this one. You can see Sean Monahan also hitting the 70-point plateau. We didn't look at player stats in this one, but we'll look at it maybe at the end of, obviously at the end of this one as the regular season will come to an end. So Tkachuk, Backlund, Gaudreau, and Elias Lindholm scoring for us. That's a big period. They also get 1 from Clayton Keller, 4-1 Flames. Second period, they add 1 from Derek Stepan. And the third period, we add another how many? Wow, another 4. Another 4. Mangiapane, Anderson, Sean Monahan, and there he is, Max Domi on the power play with his first goal as a Calgary Flame. So that's what you want to see. Derek Stepan getting his second of the game, but Max Domi has scored in his 5th or 6th game, I believe it is, as a Calgary Flame. So his first goal, hopefully of many. Again, he's a playmaker. But look at the night for Max Domi. 4 points, 1 goal, 3 assists. That's what we acquired him for. Not to put up the goals, but just to put up the points in general. Michael Backlund also with a 4-point night. So what did Tkachuk finish with? Just 1 goal for Matthew Tkachuk down there. But a good night for Domi and Backlund on that second line, as well as it looks like Giordano with a 3-point night, as well as TJ Brody, Sean Monahan, and Lindholm, and Gaudreau getting in the scoring as well. And this one, 8-8-0 for David Riddick. It looks like not as good of a night, but he did play the full game this time. 8-3 was the final. So let's just keep rolling here against the Vegas Golden Knights. All right, Vegas. Oh, I hit play. All right, let's simulate here. Yeah, so like I said, we'll just grind through these final 15 games here in the regular season. Get ourselves right up to the playoffs on this episode. So Neil Pionk making it 1-0 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Rig back in their second period. We get 1 from Max Domi. Back-to-back games for Max Domi. Second as a Flame. They get another, though. Can we at least tie it up in the third? Actually, this is a divisional game. I wouldn't mind getting 2 more goals here in the third. Come on, Flames. We get 2 more goals exactly from our captain, Mark Giordano, who has been a little bit quiet on the offensive front this season compared to his 74 points or whatever he had last season. But Gio getting 2 huge goals for us in the third period. They're timely goals for Calgary because obviously they came as the tying goal and the game-winning goal. So 9-4-3, much better night there for David Riddick. And again, Domi, where is he there? Domi... where's Domi? There he is. Just 1 goal, 17 minutes of ice time. But good to see him still contributing. So that's back-to-back games. It's 4 points in 2 games there for Max Domi. Again, I'm really not worried about the offense that he's going to put up for us. I know he's a top-end player in this league, and I know he's going to be a huge piece of our top 6 forward group going forward for a long time. So that's why I had no problem when Montreal came to us in episode, I believe it was in episode 3, they actually made the initial trade offer. It was for 2 first-round picks, and I think Tyler Parsons and maybe another piece, and we obviously went back at the deadline, re-edited that trade, kind of fixed fixed it a little bit. I just didn't want to give up 2 first, but we still gave up a lot in Gillies, in Parsons and Rajusha, and then in our first and our third in 2021 as well. So still happy with what we gave up, considering we got Domi back. So we dropped this one to the Islanders here. A 2-point night for Monahan. Johnny finds the board, but again, Riddick struggling slightly in this one, 8-7-5. So not a super good night for it too. We've been a little bit inconsistent in our last few games here, but you can see we still sit with 90 points. We have hit the 90-point plateau. Oilers still back by just 2 points. We'll just keep on going here. We got back-to-back nights coming up against the Rangers and Islanders, but we'll probably give Riddick this Winnipeg game, and then obviously one of the 2 New York games. So we'll keep him in for this one, despite his poor play in the last few games. Still believe in David Riddick, although we do want to, like I said, keep it realistic and spell in Cam Talbot here for a few games. So we'll give, we probably should have gave Talbot this one, but that's okay. Furleak, the former Jet, getting on the board, 1,000 Flames. Second period, we get 3 more. Anderson and Hamnick and Max Domi with his third as a Flame. Mark Scheifele scoring for them 4-1, and we add another one. Johnny Gaudreau, of course, staying red hot for the Flames in this one. So I'm not even going to look at this one. This was a good night for David Riddick, who only allows 1 goal, so a much better bounce-back game, I should say, for David Riddick. That will get him to start here against the Rangers, and good to see, like I said, Domi continuing to contribute, and also Johnny Gaudreau staying red hot as well. So Buddy Robertson going down in the American League, so we'll just bump everybody up here by 1 and throw in some random person here. Let's get Johnny Gaudreau's brother in. Let's put him in some situations here. Get Matty Gaudreau in, and we are going to have to go to back to lines and 3-on-3. I hate this. You know, I wish they would just autofill it, especially when it's in the American League. It just kills a lot of time. We'll just put in whoever here. Let's put in... I don't know if Quine's in, but we'll put Quine in. Yeah, he was on... Oh, well, whatever. Quine can double shift in overtime. He is our best centerman, or one of our best players in the American League. So, Rangers here. Just going back here. And we'll keep the lineups the same. We have not touched them really much since the trade deadline, but we seem to be, winning a few games here. But we're staying number 1 in the Pacific, so that's all that matters. So 2 goals here for us in the first period. Mangiapane and Hamnick making it 2-1 Flames. We had another one from Johnny Gaudreau. Who else in the second period, and we hang on for a 3-1 win. So another good night for David Riddick. Again, not needing to look at this one. That he just allows 2 goals in the last combined 2 games. So 5-1 win for David Riddick and a 3-1 win. So really happy with Riddick there. Let's get Cam Talbot in for a game here against the Islanders, and then hopefully Talbot starts to play good, because I want to give Riddick a little bit of rest here as we are nearing the playoffs. And I know he's played north of 60 games. He's played 59. Sorry, I thought he had just played north of 60 games, but 59. So pretty much 60 games there. But look at that record, 35, 16, and 5. Not bad at all. 9-1-8 so far through this season. He's already played way more than he's played any other season. The most he played was last year at 45. You can see the years before that failed to even get close to 50. But again, he's now a starting goalie. We talked about in episode 1, so we're not going to go over too much. But obviously, we are confident in Riddick. There's Talbot through 21 games, a 909 save percentage. So see if we can get him maybe hot and get him some starts here. We'll give him the Islanders here. So we actually, I just realized we just clinched. I just saw that right now. So there it is. The Flames become the first team in the West to clinch. Are we the third team in the NHL to clinch? So I don't know who clinched first, Bruins or Panthers or Flames, but the Bruins clinch with 100 points now to lead the league. The Panthers, 95 points, so they clinch as well. But the Calgary Flames, the first team in the West to clinch, 94 points. So I do believe we were the first team last year in the Western Conference as well to clinch, if I'm not mistaken, going back to the 2018-19 season. I believe Calgary was the first team. Obviously, we finished first in the West, so that would make sense. But yeah, I do believe we were the first to clinch last year as well. So that's good to see. We obviously, that was our goal, to get back to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and now it's what can we do in the playoffs? What can we do now that it's going to be past April? We need to play a lot more than just 5 games like we did last year. So not liking the night here for the Calgary Flames. We do have -3 for Hannafin or for Hamonic, sorry, Hannafin -2. That third line struggling a little bit there as well with Derek Ryan, and not as good of a night for Cam Talbot, who comes in relief of David Riddick for a back-to-back situation. So that's back-to-back losses to the Islanders in, 5 nights there. They beat us in Calgary 4-2, and then they beat us in Long Island 4-2 as well. So not liking our 2 meetings with the Islanders this season. They come pretty close, and the Islanders beat us in both sweep of the season series. But again, Eastern Conference team, it would have been nice though to grab those 4 points. So let's put David Riddick back in. Again, I know he's played 60 games already, but that was not a good night for Cam Talbot. And we do need to win games, pick up points here if we want to defend our Pacific Division title. All right, so we got the New Jersey Devils. Shouldn't have too many games left here. What do we got? We're already at the 19th of the month, so we shouldn't have too many games here to go. All right, Flames Devils, nothing through the first. Second period, 4 goals for us, 1 for them. They get 1 from Calgary native Taylor Hall. We get 1 from Bennett, Mangiapane, Monahan, and Goudreau. Second period, they get 2 from Heischer to pull within 1. So it's going to be an interesting third period. We've already thrown 40 shots at whoever they have in net. I didn't check to see if it was Schneider who they have in net. Can we please hang on in the third period? Come on, Flames. Or I guess that was the third one. What? I thought that was only the second. Okay. I don't know what I was looking at there. So we do win 4-3. We do hang on. They get 2 from Heischer to make it close. I don't know why I thought that was the second period. But a huge night there for Goudreau, Monahan, staying red hot. 8-9 for David Riddick. So goaltending has struggled to start this month of March. Not going to lie, but again, we're getting the job done, so that's all that matters right now. Luckily, our offense is red hot right now, especially Johnny Gaudreau. So we got Buddy Robertson coming back here. Yeah, I should put him back in here. I was like thinking of skipping out on it, but again, we should probably put him back in. So we'll throw Robertson back in here, back from injury, and again, put him back on that top line. Everybody just moves down 1 spot, basically like that. So yeah, there's Johnny Gaudreau. I mean, 46 goals already. That's I believe that is a career high for Johnny Gaudreau. He could hit 50. A very good chance he will hit 50. I don't know how many games are remaining. He just needs 4 and more goals, to be a 50-goal scorer in the NHL for the first time in his career. Close to 80 points as well. Again, he hit 99 points last year. Don't know if he's going to get to that this year. But again, it's the goal category that he is just amazing us in this year. Could hit the 50-goal plateau. And our offense is a lot more spread out as well. Take a look here at the standings. I just took a look. So we are nearing the end of the season. Anaheim has clinched. Edmonton has clinched a playoff spot for the first time since... When did they last make it? 2017, and I think just the second time in 14 years that the Edmonton Oilers will be playing postseason hockey. The Golden Knights have not clinched. They're still hanging on to a wild card spot, as is the Coyotes. But the Ducks and the Oilers clinching the final 2 of the top 3 spots in the Pacific. Obviously, we clinched the spot first, but we're not number 1 yet because the Ducks are 3 points back of us. The Oilers 4 points back of us. So it's getting tight now that we're nearing the end of the season. So let's jump right into this game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who I believe struggled a bit this season. Are they fighting for a playoff spot? I just want to take a look quickly. Yes, they are. They got the wild card spot right now. In one of the wild card spots in the East at 81 points. But you can see there the Rangers are closing in on them. The Hurricanes are a point ahead of them. The Leafs look like they're a little ways back, but that's insane that the Tampa Bay Lightning just struggling just to make the playoffs this year after probably one of the best regular seasons in NHL history last year. So that's a bit of a surprise. So let's get this game here against the Lightning going. Let's see if we can just acquire points here in the last few games and really solidify ourselves in the Pacific Division as champions once again. First period, there's Michael Backlund beating Curtis McElhinney. Second period for Leak and Stamkos. Can we hang on in the third period? We do. 2 huge goals from Domi and Tkachuk on that second line. It looks like Domi's is an empty netter with 46 seconds left, but a huge goal by Tkachuk, which stands as the game-winning goal. They get one from Anthony Cirelli. But just a really good third period there by that second line, featuring Max Domi and Matthew Tkachuk. Another 3-point night for Max Domi, 2-point night there for Matthew Tkachuk. So that's exactly why we acquired Max Domi, for him and Tkachuk to have nights like this. And so far, they've had quite a few. 9-2-3 for David Rigg. He gets back to having a good game. I'm really wondering if we should give Talbot a few games here. Sharks are dead last in our division, so we will give him this San Jose game, Talbot. But I also want the points, but I'm confident in Talbot to get us this one. 98 points now is where we sit with, we're close to the 100-point plateau. Yeah, let's put Talbot in for this one. All right, Cam Talbot here. David Riddick, yeah, okay. All right. All right, the San Jose Sharks Flames zeros after 22nd period. They get the goal. Barclay Goodrow. Can we at least beat the worst placed team in our conference in the Sharks? Come on, Flames. We get one from Hannafin, but they get another one. I didn't even see who it was, and they beat us 2-1. So our offense goes quiet in this one. Talbot, pretty good at 9-3-1. I think we'll keep him in here. But man, I would have liked those 2 points. Don't worry about giving, obviously, those points to San Jose because they're, like I said, dead last. But we probably could have used those points in our race to top spot in our division. Now we got the Anaheim Ducks. This is a big one. Ooh. I'm wondering if we should put the put Riddick back in. Just take a look here quickly. Because we were down to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left. Yeah, I'm wondering if we should go with Riddick in this one against Anaheim. And then could we give, where's Vancouver? I want to give Talbot at least, probably at least 3 of these remaining, depending on where we sit though. Huh. Alright. I think we'll just take a game by, I was going to try and plan out a goalie situation, but we'll take it game by game because we're still fighting for that Pacific Division. This one against the Ducks is obviously huge because they are the closest team to us at 95 points. We only sit 3 points clear of them at 98, so they're fighting for it, and they have a game in hand on us. So we need to win this one. If we want to win our division, we have to win this game right here against the Ducks. If we win this game, we'll have a better chance, I should say, at winning our division. But if we lose this game, it's going to make it really tough because they have a game in hand on us as well, and they're playing really good hockey. So we have to win this one in regulation. So probably the biggest game here of the season remaining is right here if we want to defend our division title. So come on, Flames. I know we've only made the playoffs, but it'd be so nice to have a division title for a second straight year. Come on, Flames. First period, nothing. Second period, come on. Oh, they get 3, we get 2. Domi and Giordano, but they get 3 huge goals from Richie, Nieto, and Andres Kass. Can we please get 2 huge goals here in the third period? Come on, Flames. Fuck me. Wow, that's a big period by them. That is a big game by them. They've just closed the gap on us and made it very tough for us now to defend the Pacific Division. Oh, that's not the type of game you want to see against a division rival, and such a big game too. Backlund struggling this one. That second line struggling with Tkachuk and Domi. Anderson struggling as well as Valimaki on that third pairing. Just not a good night. And David Riddick, I put him in the net and he goes 800. Oh my god. Maybe I should have left Talbot in. It was such a big game, I wanted to give it to Riddick, but I probably should have left Talbot in. Because he was coming off a pretty good game there against the Sharks, despite the loss. So yes, you can see the Anaheim Ducks have made it a 1-point cap with a game in hand. 97 points, we have 98. The Oilers are back at 94, so they're 4 points back. But my goodness, Anaheim is just closing it. So I mean, all we can do at this point is try and win out and win our games here and hope that the Ducks lose. But it's going to be tough. I want to get Talbot in here as well. You know what? No, I want to win this division. So I've still got a little bit more faith in Riddick. He won't hit 70 games, but he'll come close. But that's all right. I'm really going to ride Riddick out here. So we got the Canucks here. Obviously, they're not in the playoffs, but we need these 2 points. We just need 2 points here. Come on. First period, we get one from Gaudreau. Second period, they get 2. We get 2. Tkachuk, Gaudreau. Come on, we need this third period. Come on, Calgary. We're going to overtime. We do get a point. Monahan, Edler. We need this extra point. I don't care about giving that point to Vancouver. We just need this extra point. Come on. Nothing. Shootout. Fuck me. Are we kidding? Like, Elias Pettersson. Oh. This is not the time. My God. Calgary's just... I don't know what's going on right now. Giordano, -3. Goudreau, Lindholm, Monahan, -2. What are you guys doing? 8.75 for Riddick. Okay, Talbot's coming in because, I mean, I've trusted Riddick these last few games. I hope he doesn't do this in the playoffs. We do get a point. The Ducks haven't played yet, so let's sim up here to this Winnipeg game. 3 days off. That could give the Ducks time to catch up here. Shit, they did too. The Ducks have caught up. They got 99 points. We got 99 points. We do sit first still. We have identical records at 46, 26, and 7. Both 79 games played, both 99 points. Wonder what the tiebreaker is that we have right now. But 3 games left. We still have a shot here at our division, but it is like as close as can be. My God, this is insane. Fuck. Okay, where's Winnipeg sitting? Winnipeg. The first. I'm putting Talbot in because Riddick's had back-to-back pretty bad games for us. So I'm going to put Cam Talbot in here. Cam Talbot. And then we'll monitor for these last 2 games. But Winnipeg's top of their division in the Central. We just need to find a way to get 2 points here and try and win out and hope that Anaheim loses out because I really want to defend our division. First period, we get one from Johnny. They get one from Blake. Second period, nothing. Third period, come on, Flames. Yes. Kachuk and Domi. Kachuk with the empty netter will take the 3-1 win. Should be a much better night for Cam Talbot, who comes in at 9.66. That's a really good night for Cam Talbot coming in there. And then Domi and Kachuk and Gaudreau getting it done. So Gaudreau, the other thing is Johnny Gaudreau is 1 goal away from 50, and he's got 2 games left to hit the 50 goal plateau. I don't know where everybody else sits in terms of points and goals, but he's already hit 80 points. Gaudreau has. I wouldn't mind seeing him hitting 50 goals for the first time in his career. But the biggest thing is the team thing. We do set 101 points now, so we have hit the 100-point plateau. Did we finish with 105 last year or 107? I can't remember. Obviously, I don't think we're going to hit that this year, but we'll come pretty close. And also come close to the 50 win. We can't obviously hit 50 wins. The most we can get now is 49 wins. Man, we could have been 1 win away from 50, and I do believe the Flames hit 50 wins last year. But the biggest thing is where the Ducks, 99 points still. So, again, they haven't played yet, so let's sim up to this Vegas game. We are now in April. The Ducks are at 98. At 99 still. Yeah, they're still at 99. So, same amount of games played. Again, all we can do is hope to win out. So we're going to leave Talbot in. Played really well there. Riddick's still going to be our starter for Game 1 of the playoffs. But if we have to play Riddick or play Talbot for the final 2 games of the season, we can. So first period here against the Knights. Wow, huge goals from Monahan, Backlund, and Domi. Come on, Johnny, get that 50th goal. They get one from Carlson. Second period, we do get one. It's from Gio. They get one from Shea Theodore. Third period, come on, Johnny. No, it's Andrew Mangiapane. Would you pick up the 5-3 win? Cody Glass scoring there for them as well. So now Johnny's only got 1 game left. Game number 82 to hit 50. That's coming close. All right. Another good night there for Talbot, or a pretty decent night, 903. We'll leave him in. We'll give Riddick the rest. He needs the rest heading into the playoffs anyway. We will give Talbot the final game here against Edmonton, which is actually a pretty big game because they can't catch us. But hang on, let's just sim up to this game here. But the Ducks can't. Holy shit. The Ducks are at 101. Alright, so we're 2 points clear of the Ducks. So pretty much, I don't know how many games. Yeah, the Ducks have 1 game left. So pretty much, if we get a point in this one, we should clinch our division. Or wait, it already says we have. It says we have already clinched the division. Oh, yeah, because the most the Ducks could do would get 2 points and tie us, and we have the tiebreaker. Sorry. So we have clinched the Pacific. All right, so that takes off a lot of relief. Because I was going to say the Ducks could still catch us, but we must have the tiebreaker. Again, I don't know what the tiebreaker is, because we have identical records if they were to win 1 more game and we were to lose. But we must have the tiebreaker somehow. It must be a season series or something. I'm not sure how it goes with. But yes, that is nice. So we have clinched the Pacific Division. The Calgary Flames are back-to-back Pacific Division champions, 2019 and now 2020 Pacific Division champions. That's good to see. It's been I think our last division title before that was 2005, so it's nice to see the Flames finally back to the top of their division and winning titles. It's not the titles you want to win. You want to do that in the playoffs, obviously, but it's still nice to get some some banners up there, even if they're just for the regular season. Showing that you are a top team. Now, this is a big game because Edmonton can't pass Anaheim either. So it looks like it will be the Ducks and the Oilers in round 1. They'll play each other. Anaheim should have home ice advantage in that one. And we will play Vancouver or Chicago, 85-86. So that one is still to be determined. We're either playing Vancouver or Chicago. We know that for sure because the Golden Knights can't catch. And the Wild, I guess the Wild could catch. Minnesota could catch Chicago. So it could be Minnesota, it could be Chicago, it could be Vancouver. Should all be determined in this last game here. So this game really, doesn't mean anything at all in terms of standings. The only thing that we're looking for in this game is Johnny Gaudreau. Can he hit the 50-goal plateau? My God, I would love to see that. I mean, he's at 49 right now. But watch it be like last year where he was at 99 points. He could have hit 100 points for the first time in his career, and he finishes with 99 last year. Watch that be the same situation here in this one. I really want to see him hit 50 though. But here we go. Game number 82 for the Calgary Flames, who are now Pacific Division champions for a second straight year. Come on, Johnny. This game's all about Johnny. Closing out the regular season. And first period, nothing. Second period, come on, Johnny. There it is. Johnny Gaudreau with 2 goals, beating Mikko Koskinen, and he gets goals number 50 and goals number 51 on the regular season. That is amazing to see. Third period, and they add one from Leon Draisaitl. But the Flames on Johnny Gaudreau's 50th and 51st of the regular season win their final game of the 2019-2020 season, and they do it against the arch rival Edmonton Oilers, who are again going back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll play the Ducks in the playoffs, in round 1. But we do finish as top in our division, so that's the big thing. So just taking a look quickly. I do want to end this episode here pretty soon. But I'm just going to take a quick look at our upcoming playoff matchup and where we finish. So there it is. The Flames have finished with first spot in the Pacific Division. The regular season has ended for everybody. So let's just take a quick look here at the NHL standings. Actually, first, let's just take a look at our division. So again, there we are, clinching our second division title in as many years. 105 points for the Calgary Flames. We finish 4 points clear of the Anaheim Ducks for that, and then the Oilers at 97. So again, it will be the Ducks, it will be the Oilers in round 1 there. Anaheim with home ice advantage. Vancouver makes the playoffs with 86 points. So they beat out the Vegas Golden Knights, who come close. They come within a point, but the Vancouver Canucks there beating out the Canucks, beating out the Golden Knights. The Coyotes finished with 84 points, the Sharks 80 points, and the Kings actually finished last, 78 points there. So it was actually pretty close. Like even the Sharks and the Coyotes, I didn't realize they were that close, but really the Coyotes were just 2 points back from making the playoffs, and the Sharks were just 6 points back from making the playoffs. I thought the Sharks were a lot further down. I thought they were like one of the worst teams in our conference, but they weren't. It was actually a lot closer than I thought. So again, there's the Western Conference. It looks like the Dallas Stars win the Central Division. The Jets come close. They tie in terms of points, but again, Dallas must have the tiebreaker. Colorado 88, Minnesota also making it at 86. There's Vancouver. Chicago misses. So it does look like it is Minnesota or Vancouver who we will play, and in fact, it will be Vancouver. We will play the Canucks. So it's another first round matchup against the Vancouver Canucks for the Calgary Flames. So just like the years 2015, we played the Canucks in the first round, and then 2004, obviously we played them in the first round as well. So it's always good to play the Canucks in the first round, especially when you beat them, which we did in both cases. So Chicago misses again, 85 points, as does Vegas. Arizona, Nashville. Nashville, St. Louis missing 84 and 81, so they missed in their division. Again, it's all close. I mean, every team's in the 80s in terms of points. So it was a very close logjam in both the Central and the Pacific for the final few spots. But my God, just the fact that Nashville and St. Louis and San Jose, really, the fact that these three teams probably should have been locks at the beginning of the year to make especially Nashville and St. Louis. That's the biggest surprise. I guess San Jose too. All three of them are pretty huge surprises that they missed. LA down there in the only team in the West with 78 points. There's a quick look at the East. Boston wins the President's Trophy as well as the Atlantic Division, 114 points. What a season for the Bruins. The Panthers coming in there at 105. They win the Metro. No, they're in the Atlantic as well. Sorry, the Capitals win the Metro. There they are, 103. The Panthers in the Atlantic. The Senators make the playoffs again. That probably the biggest surprise of the entire NHL this season was the fact that the Senators were, for quite a while there, were a #1 team in this league and now have made the Stanley Cup playoffs on a year that they were expected to be dead last. The Devils making it 96. The Flyers making it at 96 as well. The Penguins 89. They always find a way. The Rangers making it with Temi Panarin at 88. The Lightning miss. Oh my God. The huge upset there. So just like San Jose, Nashville, and St. Louis, the defending champs, miss. The defending President's Trophy champions also missing. Huge surprise that some of these teams are missing. But again, when you have teams like Ottawa, New Jersey, and Philadelphia making it, there's going to be some upsets. Carolina also misses a year after they got to the Stanley Cup playoffs and to the Eastern Conference. Toronto misses. I mean, they should have been in there as well. The Islanders miss, and then the Sabres, the Jackets, the Montreal Canadiens, Domi's former team, and the Detroit Red. So Detroit probably the only team that should be where they are. The rest of these teams, a lot of big surprises here. Toronto, Carolina, Tampa, and then Nashville, and San Jose and St. Louis in the West, all missing. That's insane. Just a quick look here at the final standings in the NHL. Again, we finished second in the NHL, ahead of Florida. Florida does have 50 wins. Again, I don't know what the tiebreaker is in this one because we have the same amount of points. They have more wins. I'm not sure what are they using goals for. They must be using goals for. So let's just take a quick look here at goals for. Boston finishes. Edmonton 274, 273 for us, but 285 for Boston. So we finished third in terms of goals for. Goals against. Where are we here? We finished third in goals against, so that's pretty good. That's a huge improvement, I think, from where we were about halfway through the season. Our power play at 22.1%. I'm just looking at this quickly because I want to see where we are going into the regular season. So we are a top 4 team in the power play going into the regular season. We're going to do this in the next episode and look at the Canucks so we can kind of tee up our first round matchup against them and where they finished. But I just want to see where we finished. And our PK improves quite a bit. We finished as a top 5 team on the PK. So at the end of the last episode, we looked at. Do I want to look at our player stats now? Let me check to see how long this episode's been running. Okay, yeah, let's look at our player stats here quickly as well. How we finished the regular season. So, yeah, so there's Johnny Gaudreau hits the 50-goal plateau for the first time in his NHL career. That is amazing. Gets 99 points last year, and only finishes with 87 this year. But still, a guy that can be a high, probably 90 to 100 points every year. I mean, I know he doesn't hit 90 this year, but he comes pretty damn close to 90 points. The second highest total of his career when it comes to points, only to last year. But again, the biggest one is the goal category. Finishes with 51 goals for the first time. Last year was the closest he got to 50 at 36, but this time finishes with 51 goals. What a season. Obviously our Hart Trophy nominee nominee is Johnny Gaudreau for sure this season. But yeah, what a season for him. 51 points, 51 goals, 87 points. Sean Monahan coming in second, 83 points. The biggest surprise is he just misses the 20-goal plateau. This is a guy that should be at the 30 goals each year, but again, him and Gaudreau probably switching roles this year a little bit. Gaudreau taking a lot more of the goal scoring on that top line in his own hands with 51 goals. That brings Monahan to just barely 20 goals, but the biggest thing, 64 assists, so pretty good season still for Sean Monahan, who goes over a point a game, just over a point a game with 83 points in 82 games. Max Domi actually plays one extra game than everybody else. He plays 83 games, 68 points for Max Domi. I just want to take a quick look here at Domi. So he comes in and goes 17 points in 19 games with the Calgary Flames. I like this this year. Also, they added this. They put whenever you trade for a player, now you can see what that player's done with your team specifically, whereas you had to used to look at the total they had. They didn't have this separate. But anyways, it's good to see what Domi's done with the Flames since coming over at that trade deadline. 19 games, 17 points, 7 goals, 10 assists, and a +5 rating. So again, look at him in Montreal. He put up 51 points in 64 games, and he was a -5. He comes to Calgary, and he's a +5. So that just shows you a difference in team. And then, of course, he continues to put up the numbers almost a point a game since joining the Calgary Flames. So this is exactly why we acquired him. Shooting at 17.9% as well. So he's got a much higher shooting percentage than he did with the Montreal Canadiens. And actually his highest shooting percentage of any of his seasons. Even though this was only 19 games, that's still a pretty high shooting percentage. 2 game-winning goals, 3 power play goals, 4 power play points. So he does contribute on the power play as well. Averages 19 minutes and 7 seconds of ice time. So that's huge for Max Domi and the Calgary Flames. That was a huge acquisition. Goes 43% in the faceoff circle as well when he did take draws, but he was playing as a right winger for us through 19 games. So that's really cool to see. He actually finishes 3rd on our team in points with 68. Michael Backlund coming in, 67 points, 1 point back on that second line as well. Also puts up 49 assists. And as does Domi. Mark Giordano coming off a 70-point Norris Trophy season. He only hits 56 points this season through 77 games, but still really good for a 36-year-old defenseman to put up 56 points. He still eclipses the 50-point plateau, as does Elias Lindholm, eclipsing the 50-point plateau on that top line. 16 goals. Again, bit of a step back for these two, but we probably expected them to take a step back. We probably didn't expect Tkachuk to take as big of a step back, but he still hits the 50-point plateau as well. Almost hits the 30-goal plateau, 6 goals away, but he had a really, really poor start to the season. His second half of the season was like amazing. He was on fire in the second half of the season, but his first, I forget how many goals and points he had by January, but it was I think it was single digits for goals, and then he finishes with 24. So I mean, he had a lights out second half. It's just that first half of the season, I don't know what was going on with Tkachuk in that first half of the season. Unfortunately, it hurt him for his overall point totals, but he still manages to hit the 50-point plateau. So all of our top 6 forwards hit north of 50-point plateau, hit north of 50 points, Gaudreau, Monahan, Backlund, Domi, Lindholm, and Tkachuk all hit north of 50 points. That's all you can ask for from your top 6, really getting the job done, as well as your top defenseman also hitting north of 50 points as well. After that, big drop off here with Andrew Mangiapane at 37 points, 36 points for TJ Brody, 35 for Noah Hanifin. Again, Mangiapane, though, almost hitting 30 goals. I just ignored that. 28 goals for Andrew Mangiapane. So he actually finishes second on our team behind Johnny Gaudreau in goal scoring. Like, he finishes just ahead of Tkachuk and just a ways back of Gaudreau. But he actually if you were to ask me who's going to be second on our team in goal scoring, if Gaudreau was number 1, I would have said Monahan, Tkachuk, Domi, Lindholm, whoever. I definitely wouldn't have expected Andrew Mangiapane to put up 28 goals this season. That's an incredible, and all on the third line. I mean, he's obviously our most underrated player and our secret weapon going into the playoffs, because for a third liner to play all season like he did, I mean, he may have had maybe 10 games on the second line at the beginning of the season when we were trying things around there with Frolik, and we put Mangiapane up there for a few games, but for the most part, he played his entire season on the third line, and he put up 28 goals. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Does finish -7, but again, there's his shooting percentage, 15.3. He was actually shooting a lot higher in the first half of the season. But man, that's insane. It would have been incredible to see him reach the 30-goal plateau. I didn't realize he was that close, but that's cool to see. Anyways, getting back down here, 35 for Hanifin, 34 points for Bennett, 34 for Frolik, 25 for Hamnick, Ryan there, 24, Anderson, 24. So not bad for Rasmus Anderson, who will likely go to our top unit next year with Mark Giordano. So you can expect those numbers to increase. Jankowski, 22, Milan Lucic, 14 points on the fourth line, Zarnik, 13, and then Juuso Välimäki, who will also move into our top 4 next year with 13 points there as well. And then Stone played 7 games for us. So that's just a quick look there. And again, just quickly looking at our goaltending situation here. So David Rittich plays 63 games this season, 37, 17, and 6 is his record, 915. Again, he struggled at the very end of the season. Actually, he struggled pretty much in the month of March in this whole episode. But again, he's our starter. He had an incredible season for us. 37 wins this season, 915 through 63 games. He's our playoff starter. Talbot, it was nice to see that he could still come in as a relief, as a reliable backup, which that's what he did pretty much this whole season. 13, 11, and 1 was his record through 26 games, 912, 271 goals against there for Talbot. So again, I said it about halfway through the season this year. Definitely confident in our goaltending going forward with Rittich and Talbot. So that's just a look at all our players. That's where we finished in terms of our standings as a team. That's where we finished in terms of individual stats as our players. Really good season all around. Again, anytime that you win your division, anytime that you finish as a third best team in the NHL, and anytime that your players finish with the points and the goals that they did, it's just a good season all around for us. Very successful regular season, just like last year. Now, the only thing is, last year, such a good season, the playoffs were absolute crap. We exited in 5 games. We have to find a way here for the Calgary Flames, if you're the Calgary Flames, to obviously have more success now that it is April, because the Flames were not being measured by what they did this year in the regular season. They're being measured by what they do now that it is playoff time. So that's the big thing here. Again, we want to win the Stanley Cup. I want to win it this year, but if we don't win it this year, we need to at least have a deep playoff run. So we have to start with the Vancouver Canucks. Like I said, just like we did in 2004, 2015, we will start with the Vancouver Canucks. So let's stop simming here, as we are now up to Game 1 against the Canucks. We have home ice advantage on them, so it's the best of 7 here against Vancouver. We'll start that obviously in episode 6, but just taking a quick look here at the playoff matchups. So there it is again in the Pacific. It's Anaheim, Edmonton, as we said, Vancouver and Calgary. In the Central, Dallas, Minnesota, there battling it out. And then Winnipeg and Colorado, the other matchup in the Central. Looking at the East, it's Boston and Rangers. It's the Panthers and the Sens. I would not have expected that matchup. The Caps Pens, that's always a good series whenever it's Caps Pens. And then Devils and Flyers, that's going to be a good one as well. A lot of teams, like I said, Tampa, Toronto should probably be there, as well as in the West, Nashville, San Jose, St. Louis should be there. But hey, it is what it is. So this will be a fun playoff run for all the teams, but let's hope that the Calgary Flames can have success. We do have a good shot here. I mean, again, we had a really good season. We have a really good team. I like our team. I think the acquisition of Max Domi, you saw his 17 points in 19 games. I think that definitely boosts us. That makes us definitely a legit contender for sure. That was a huge piece for us. We have good depth. Our bottom 6, I mean, we have a guy in our bottom 6 who can score 30 goals, pretty much, almost. Scored 27 goals for us. I think we have some good depth down here. We have guys that can contribute down here. I think in our defense we have some good depth as well. We have a really good defensive core and some good depth as well, and good goaltending as well in Riddick and Talbot. So I like our team. I like how we look heading into the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Vancouver Canucks. Let's make Riddick our Game 1 starter there. We're obviously going to just roll with the lines we have going into Game 1. But yeah, I like how we stack up. I think we can go for a nice deep run. We have to take it one series at a time, obviously. We have to find a way to get through Vancouver. They had a pretty decent season. I mean, I know they finished 8th, but again, it was a logjam for points there for the final few spots in the Western Conference. So they probably could have been higher. They probably could have been lower, but it is what it is. So let's hopefully beat the Vancouver Canucks. We'll take it one series at a time and then see if we can go from there. So we will end this episode here. Again, that is how the Flames finished the regular season. They finish as back-to-back Pacific Division champions, and they finish heading back to the Stanley Cup playoffs as a legit contender. Now, it's all up to the Flames to see what they can do now that it is April, now that it is playoff time. We need to have a long, deep run. So we will end this episode here. We will pick up episode 6, I believe it is, with the Stanley Cup playoffs, round 1 versus the Vancouver Canucks.